Oh geez, oh my, there I go again. You don't score enough, I mean no offense.
Yo, what's up YouTube? It's your boy Moose and welcome back to the channel. And as many of you probably already know by now, NHL 24 was released on October 3rd for those of us that pre-ordered the X Factor edition. For everyone else, the game will release on October 6th. I of course bought the X Factor edition, so I've been going through NHL 24 for the last day or so and gathering my thoughts. And I definitely have some things that I want to talk to you guys about with this game. This isn't going to be like my review video that I did for NHL 23 last year where I gave grades and all of that. For this video, it's going to be a lot less structured. I'm just going to kind of sit here and talk with you guys about how I'm feeling about this year's game. And while I'm talking, I'll throw on some online versus gameplay in the background so you guys have something to watch while I talk. And an FYI, these are some of the very first games on NHL 24 that I played. I didn't even play in the beta, so there's definitely some rough moments as I'm just trying to get a feel for the new controls and physics. So don't roast me too hard in the comments, guys. But anyways, let's start talking about NHL 24. So as some of you guys may know based on my content here on the channel, I like to play a lot of franchise mode and be a pro. So I guess I'll start with my thoughts on those two modes, which are not so positive, and then I'll get into my thoughts on all the online modes and all the actual gameplay improvements that they made this year. So alright, when it comes to franchise and be a pro, well, EA Sports did it again, everyone. They didn't do anything.
Disappointed!
I mean, we got custom franchises last year, as well as custom rosters, so I guess that means EA felt that it was okay to ignore franchise mode this year. And for Be a Pro, I mean, honestly guys, it's been what, about a decade since they even touched that godforsaken game mode, so it's not really surprising that they didn't do anything once again this year in NHL 24. I mean, it's actually impressive at this point. EA Sports' refusal to even make slight improvements or updates to franchise mode, or more specifically Be a Pro mode, is honestly a level of determination and commitment that we should all aspire to achieve in our own lives. Like, man, I'm actually upset at myself because yesterday I literally stood there and debated if I should record myself going into the game and checking out all the game modes for the first time. But for whatever reason, I decided against it, and man, it honestly sucks because I think you guys would have gotten a real laugh out of my reactions. So Be a Pro is the first game mode that I went to go check out. It's always the first game mode that I go to check out when I get NHL. And holy, ladies and gentlemen, the moment I saw that goddamn snow cutscene with my freaking agent and stupid ass James Cybulski on the phone, honestly guys, I nearly lost my shit when I saw that again. Like, even the dialogue was completely the same. It's literally been the exact same thing for 39 years. Honestly, it's so bad that we have the same cutscene for Be a Pro. It's absolutely horrible. It needs to change. So alright, then I get through the cutscene, I make my guy, and I end up making him a defenseman. And so when I go to choose his archetype, the picture, man, like, this absolutely freaking kills me. They're still using a picture of Erik Karlsson in a San Jose Sharks jersey as the offensive defenseman picture. Like, yeah, he didn't get traded to Pittsburgh in the offseason or anything at EA Sports. It actually kills me. It kills me, man. And then yeah, like, everything about the game mode after that is also exactly the same as it's been for years. It's honestly terrible.
That's terrible.
Now, it's not like I was expecting them to do a ton this year for Be a Pro, but giving us nothing is a huge letdown. Give us updated or different cutscenes. Update basic stuff like that Erik Karlsson picture. And give us more options like playing a full year in the juniors or the European leagues. But yeah, unless you're somebody that already loved the Be a Pro game mode and you were planning on playing it already, there's no real reason to play this mode because unfortunately they really didn't do anything to change or improve it from NHL 23. So after checking out Be a Pro, I then went into franchise mode really quick to go and check it out. And yeah, it's pretty much the same thing, guys. Like, just no real improvements that are worth mentioning this year. It's not as bad as Be a Pro, as they did do some things, but yeah, it's still not great. They made the menu darker, so there's that. I mean, that's a thing. The X Factor Evolution and Devolution is cool, but it's not exactly a noteworthy addition. Like, Madden has had that for years now, so it's not really that big of a deal to me that NHL finally has it. It kind of just made sense as the next natural thing for them to add with X Factors. So yeah, again, I didn't really expect EA to do a ton with franchise mode this year, but even still, it would have been nice to see a little bit more added to the mode. One thing that I would like to see them add to franchise is the ability to customize and upgrade your GM. Let us create a GM, choose what he looks like, and let us see him sitting there in his office as we navigate through the mode. It would allow them to change the menu layout around for franchise mode, and I think would just give franchise mode a nice fresh look and feel. And this was already a thing back in NHL 2004, almost 20 years ago, guys. I still remember that game vividly because of how awesome that GM mode was. Also, connected franchise mode, anybody? That would be a game changer, man. Franchise mode has definitely gotten stale over the years, and they've got to try to do something to freshen the game mode up. Again, features from a game 20 years ago, like in NHL 2004, should not be worlds ahead of the features that we have in NHL 24. EA Sports, for shame. For shame.
For shame, sir! For shame!
But alright, that's all the negative stuff out of the way. I just wanted to get that out of my system because honestly, the rest of the game is pretty solid in my opinion. So moving on to World of Chel, I like World of Chel this year. They didn't really do anything too crazy, but the changes that they did make are pretty solid for the most part. I like the Battle Pass. It's definitely a pretty generic thing to add, as almost every game these days has a Battle Pass, but it's so much better than the hockey bags, so honestly, I'll take it. Having full crossplay now in World of Chel is also really great. I thought it should have been fully implemented last year, but at least they did what they said and we have it this year in NHL 24. They also added a store in World of Chel, which isn't surprising at all considering that all EA gives a damn about is squeezing every single dollar out of us that they can. But again, it's better than the hockey bag system, which still does exist of course, but with the store, at least now you can kind of choose what you get. Plus, the Battle Pass should always have a couple decent things to grind for. The player customization and equipment layout is a lot cleaner this year, as it's now way easier to find and attach all the items that you unlock for your player. Even just being able to toggle between your pro build and your casual build is really nice. So I really appreciated that. I'd personally like to see them add weekly tournaments that we could play in with our club teams. I think weekly tournaments would give players a reason to come back and play the mode every week. And then just in general, I think they made it a lot easier and more rewarding to play as a solo player in World of Chel this year. So I appreciate when they actually put time and thought into things like that. And speaking of putting time and thought into things, I think it's pretty obvious that the focus from EA in this game was to really revamp and improve the on-ice gameplay, the physics, and the presentation, while also changing the control layout and attempting to change the way that people play this game. And for the most part, I like the changes that they made to the gameplay this year. I'm definitely still getting used to it, but the gameplay does feel a lot smoother to me this year. So far, I've only played some online versus, which you guys have been seeing in the background of this video, as well as some World of Chel and Be a Pro, and all three modes have felt pretty good so far. I'm definitely struggling to score so far, as I'm sure you guys have noticed in the gameplay, but that's not necessarily a bad thing, honestly. I absolutely love the new icon passing option. We've been needing something like this. Clearly, I'm still terrible at passing in this game, as you guys have probably noticed, but this is a very good addition regardless. Now, I do have to say though, the new total control layout is a bit of a miss for me. While I do like the idea of integrating the buttons to make it easier to pull off certain moves in theory, I definitely have concerns about this becoming an issue, where players can take advantage of it and really cheese the game. I can already see my World of Chel team getting lacrosse goals scored against us left, right, and center. So yeah, overall, I don't know how I feel about the new total controls. I actually did play one game of online versus back on skill stick, and I gotta say, I did instantly feel a lot better. So that might honestly be what I rock with going forward. There was just something really weird about total control that I didn't feel comfortable with. I might give it another go, but yeah, let me know down in the comments what you guys think about total control. The new offensive zone pressure system is okay. I honestly wasn't sure how I was gonna feel about it once I started playing, but I actually don't mind it too much. It does bring a new element to the game, kind of like a game within the game, if you will. But again, I could see this becoming overpowered once really good players learn how to take advantage of it. Like when you get the zone pressure going, it really does make a huge difference. You can just take all sorts of shots on net, and your guys are so much faster than the other team's players. So yeah, I could definitely see this pressure system becoming really annoying and broken as time goes on, but hopefully EA does update it as we go along here. And they did listen to feedback from players who played during the beta, so that's a good sign at least. AI goalies also seem to be definitely improved. I did only play a few games online, but it did feel like it was harder to score. That could also just be me adjusting to the new game, so we'll see how things are after a while. Good players are gonna find ways to score in this game at the end of the day, but at least with the new desperation save animations, AI goalies seem to be making more saves than they were in NHL 23, which is obviously a good sign going forward. I'd like to hear from anyone who plays goalie though, and hear what your thoughts are on the new goalie tether system as a user. So feel free to comment down below any thoughts that you have. Unsurprisingly, AI teammates are still hot garbage in NHL 24. If they made any fixes, I definitely didn't notice. Be a Pro was painful to play as my AI teammates made mistake after mistake, and Online Versus had some rough moments as well. I'm not really surprised that they didn't fix AI teammates though. It's become a staple of this game. Poke checks definitely seem like they've been even further nerfed from NHL 23. If you miss a poke check in this game, good luck.
Good luck.
The presentation in NHL 24 is definitely improved from 23. More teams have personalized openings, and the on-ice light effects and graphics are just better. I also noticed way better music before power plays and between whistles in general, so I really like that. I also really like the board animations as well. It's not as distracting as I thought it was gonna be, and it's actually a pretty smart way to use the boards as an in-game tool. It's a really solid touch. As for the soundtrack for this game, it's just kind of meh for me. It's not downright horrible, but I wouldn't say that it's very good. Maybe it's just not for me though, so Spotify it is. And lastly, I just gotta say, the cutscene that we now get when we score a goal, it is absolutely atrocious in my opinion. Like, I don't know, tell me if I'm wrong in the comments. Do you guys like the new goal cutscene? Maybe I'm crazy, but I just think it's so bad. I think it's so bad. But yeah, guys, those are kind of just my overall thoughts on the game this year. There's definitely some things that I really like, but obviously there are a lot of things that I really don't like. They definitely improved the gameplay. I think AI goaltending is better. So as far as all the on-ice changes and gameplay changes that they made, I really have no complaints. But as someone who personally enjoys playing offline modes like Be a Pro and Franchise, it's definitely just tough to be staring down another full year with nothing new to do in those game modes. Hopefully now that they've put so much focus in NHL 24 on the gameplay and the presentation side of things, we'll see them return their focus towards the depth of the game modes in NHL 25. But with EA Sports, who knows, man? It's anyone's guess what they're gonna do. So yeah, I don't know how to feel about this game as a whole, but I do think that it's an improvement from NHL 23, so take that for what you will. And make sure to let me know down in the comments what your guys' thoughts are on NHL 24, because I really want to hear what you guys have to say. But yeah, anyways, this was definitely a bit of a rant today, so thank you guys for taking the time to watch and listen. I've got a lot of NHL 24 content coming out very soon, so if you enjoyed today's video at all, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any NHL 24 content. And to the OGs of this channel, don't you guys worry, I will still be wrapping up my NHL 23 Be a Pro series. I apologize for the overlap with NHL 24, but I've only got a couple more episodes left, so those videos will be dropping very soon. And then I will also be revealing my NHL 24 Be a Pro series, which will continue on from my 23 series. So be sure to stay tuned for that. But yeah, thank you guys for watching today. I really appreciate it. And until next time, Moose out.